Welcome, everyone, to Music Junkies, a podcast about people sharing extraordinary stories about how music has impacted their lives.
Welcome, everyone, to Music Junkies. I'm your host, Annette Smith, and I am super excited today. It's Canada Day, which is awesome, and our guest today is a great friend of mine. Her name is Natalie Callender, and I absolutely love her. Look at how beautiful you. It looks like you're on a beach today. It literally looks like
right at my face.
We have the Beyonce fan going. I love it. Right? You're just so beautiful. I love the fan. It's amazing. So how is your morning so far today?
Oh, good. You know, it's always chaos with two kids under 4, and I have them situated with grandma, so they're good. Hopefully they don't come barreling through the door because this is my time. But no, I'm good to go. I've got my makeup on, my hair's done for you, Annette. So thank you for letting me do that.
I love it. I think it's awesome. I always like to know, because my favorite part of this is actually getting somebody's playlist. And I was telling you a little bit about that this morning. And I love it and I didn't really know, just because you have just a wide range of music with a little bit of your history as well. I didn't really know what type of playlist you were going to send me. When I read it, though, I was like, I cannot even wait, because they're like all amazing songs that I listen to and I love getting playlists like that. Just wanted to really understand your process of putting this playlist together, and then how would you describe to somebody your playlist?
Yeah, so when you asked me to put some songs together, and songs that have meaning or, you know, memorable events in my life, I went all the way back to the beginning. So I went, okay, what's the first song I can ever recollect hearing? And I went back to 3 years old. I don't know if you want me to go through them, but I won't yet. Maybe you'll have questions with them, but yeah, so for me, I went in chronological order. I went from 3 years old, and I went, okay, what about elementary school and junior high? And I kept associating with where I was in my life and which song had the greatest meaning. And then certain events, and it was just fun going down memory lane. Then I was in the car one day, because I didn't do them all at once, and I heard a song and I was just belting it. I was like, this has to be on my playlist. So it was fun to just to pick through and kind of go through my life and see which songs resonated, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I love the process, and I always love hearing people just share a little bit about that, because it just makes, because you're going down memory lane and you're re-experiencing memories. And obviously a lot of them are good, and maybe there's some painful ones. I just love hearing people's process through that. So we're going to start off with a great song. I took my daughter to this concert probably about 4 years ago.
Okay.
She's an amazing lady. Right? Shania Twain, right?
Yeah. Yep, name of mine.
Right. So why do you, obviously Shania Twain is amazing, but why do you love that song? What does that song mean to you?
Yeah, well, first of all, Shania was my idol for a lot of my childhood, and she's the artist that got me into country, and country is one of my favorite genres. So Shania was the epitome of country for me at the time, still is, obviously. I probably went to that concert 4 years ago at the Saddle Dome. I was there. And I've been to 3 of her concerts. Anyways, Any Minute of Mine, probably the first song that I remember knowing all the words to. And do you remember CMT?
Yeah.
Back in the day, the country music videos, probably the song I've seen the most, the music video the most. I knew every single step, her twirls, her woos, everything. It's just a great song. And I sing it at karaoke too. So one of my faves.
One of your go-to songs at karaoke. I love it. It's funny that you brought up country music, that TV show. I remember it, but I was just talking to somebody the other day about remember Much Music? Remember the Much Music dances with the big screen and the smoke show? And yeah, they need to bring that back. That would be all of us would be there. It would only be 30 and older, but we'd rock that gymnasium again. It would be awesome.
Yes, it's awesome.
What were you like, Natalie, growing up in high school? Were you a loner? Were you very popular?
No, so I went to St. Mary's, which was one of the bigger schools, I would say, bigger high schools. I think I graduated with about 700, 800 people. I can't remember. So to be like one of the popular, like everybody knows you, you got to be like up there. I wasn't. I was somewhere in the middle. Definitely wasn't a loner. But I had, you know, a small core group of friends. I had good grades. I was, you know, I wasn't a rebel, but I wasn't a goody two-shoes either. You know, I did some stuff, but not over the top. I think I was your pretty average, like, good girl.
Yeah. Ever get called into the office? Mom ever have to come down?
Yeah, that not high school, but junior high. Grade 8, my best friend and I cheated on a social studies exam when there was a substitute teacher, and we hadn't taken it yet. It was like the next day. I don't know why we didn't take it when the rest of the class did, but he gave us the exam, and we went straight to the bathroom with our textbooks in the handicap stall. And we were like, I don't even know where to find this answer. And we were loud, and we hear click, 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 click coming into the bathroom. And it was one of the teachers, not from like our class, but she's like, and this is a French school, but anyways, in English, she said, "Ladies, what are you doing in here?" And she saw like our textbooks, like, so we went to the principal's office. My parents were really lax. Like they sided with their kids way more than if they would have sided with the teachers. So I could do no wrong, even if I would legit got in trouble. My best friend didn't get off the hook that easily, but that was the only time I ever gotten in shit.
That's a great story.
Like, I mean, right? It was valid for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you learn from there? If you're going to cheat on an exam, right? First of all, be quiet, pull your feet in from the, make it just seem like only one person is in the stall.
A smarter location. We were 13. We had some things to learn.
I love it. This next song, yeah, I love this song. Alanis Morissette, right?
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing song. Is there like an interesting story with that song?
No, not really. Like, not a particular story, but again, one of my first CDs I ever remember owning, played it on my Discman, right, over a loop. Can you imagine we used to do that? Like just one CD at a time.
That was when you would go buy a tape or a CD, and like every song was generally good.
Yeah, totally.
Right now it's like you got to listen to 35 songs and get one good song. No wonder why they were getting you to download $1 songs or whatever.
I agree. Yeah, no, Jagged Little Pill, that album was off the charts, like literally, was so good. Like, I just picked Ironic because it was probably her most iconic song, but that whole album. So that best friend that I talked to you about that we cheated together, we would put that CD on loop in her basement, just like it. Back then, I remember, like, there wasn't TV. I don't remember TV so much. It was more music and making memories that way. And like, this is weird, but we would like tickle each other's backs. Music. And just belting out the songs. And when the CDs had the little inserts where you would memorize the words by reading them over and over and singing them. And then in grade 6, we did a little skit. That's why I remember this. We did a skit where like I was Alanis and she was like the backup singer, and we did it for the class. So I sang Ironic. I think I just lip synced it, but anyway.
That's awesome. What is one thing that you own that's your absolute favorite? Like you can never live without it.
Like materialistic thing?
Yeah.
Good question. That's a tough one. What do I own?
Like there is a fire in your house right now, and the kids are outside, so we don't have to worry about them. What would be one thing that you would want to grab because you would never want to? Well,
I mean, this is like stupid, but I mean, my phone. I have everything on there, including, I'll tell you right now, I have, where is it? I have 36,000 pictures and 3,200 videos. So, and I don't know how the cloud works. I'm like technologically challenged in some senses, like that's one of them. If I were to lose my phone and all of those memories, because back in the day would be grab your photo albums. Well, now my photo album is in my phone, has memories from the last like 7 years. And I don't know if it's backed up. So that would be devastating for me.
Yeah.
Not to mention like, texts that I keep and data and all that stuff. But photos and videos are my life. I mean, I have this on me all the time so that I don't miss a second of any cute things that my kids do. So that would be, yeah. I mean, I know it's not like super.
No, it's good.
Emotional, but
it's what you love the most, right? It isn't about anything else in that. Yeah. And I appreciate that because for me, I have like this big trunk of pictures, right? And I would want those because, some of those pictures, was me kind of growing up in my teens. And there's days that I, just go grab one and sit on the couch and I, flip through them. And then I love just taking pictures of the pictures and then sending it to my girlfriends and being like, oh my God, can you remember this picture?
Yes.
And it just takes you back to a different time, obviously, in your life and different memories. And it's also really cool to have friends that you've had for 30 plus years, right? It's really cool just to bring up those memories. I was talking to one of my girlfriends, Michelle, who we've been like great friends since we're 11 years old. And I want her to do the podcast. And she said, you just pick the songs because she thinks she's not good with music. And I'm like, I would pick one album and that would be the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. That's it, right? Greatest hits, because that's all we listened to every single summer, right? It was like, that was it. And she just started laughing. And then we're just like, we're chatting for like 4 hours just about those memories that sometimes you don't even think about forever. And then music just kind of triggers that and brings you back. I love it.
Yeah.
So speaking of bringing me back, this song brought me back. Paul Abdul, straight up. That song brought me back to, like a dance. Like I was a crazy dancer back then.
Okay, yeah. No, I wasn't in school yet when that brought me. Sorry. Years apart. We're not, you're not that much older than me at all. But no, the memory that I have there is, and like this memory I'll hold with me forever. But so I have 4 brothers, right? And so I'm the 4th out of 5. I have 3 older brothers, and then Jeremy is 9 years younger than me. But my closest brother in age is David. He's 4.5 years older than me. And we were super, super tight growing up. To the point where when I don't know how old I was here. What year was Paul Abdul? It would have been like 1990-ish.
Yeah, I would say early 90s. Yeah, 92, 93.
So I would have been like, I don't know, maybe 8 at the time. And David would have been, 11 or 12. And our bedrooms were side by side, but forever, I don't know why, he had this phase of he couldn't sleep alone. So he'd come to my bedroom and we would sleep in the same bed for as long as I could remember in that stage, or he'd sleep on the floor. But we had Paula Abdul cassette and we would play that and sing together and like sometimes even fall asleep just listening to her. But like I have so many hilarious memories of us just, rocking out to Paula Abdul till like 11 o'clock at night trying to get to sleep.
That might not be a memory that he probably ever once shared.
I bring it up to him all the time and he loves it.
That's awesome. That's good that he loves it. Yeah. Most people do not like anybody to know that they liked Paul Abdul being a man.
No, all my brothers loved that stuff. They love Backstreet Boys. Like they are proud.
They are proud. What was, obviously you went to lots of concerts. What is one that really stood out that you were like, wow, this is phenomenal? Okay. Stage presence. Obviously you love the music, else you wouldn't be there.
Yeah. So many. Oh, like how can I pick one? Okay, I'll say a couple, but do you remember the band Muse? They weren't on a scene for that long. No? Okay.
Maybe more of a song I might know of them.
Yeah. I can't even pick one out right now. Okay, that's just like, it was the first one that popped in. Garth Brooks is obviously top 10, top 5, maybe top 3. That one I went to just a few years ago when he came to Calgary. And that one was, I don't know, I cried throughout his concert just because, again, the memories flood, right?
It's amazing how many people say Garth Brooks.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
I have never seen him. My brother has seen him, but again, I think his show and why people appreciate him so much, obviously he's such an amazing human, but he also is a very smart businessman. He knows people are coming to the concert not to hear his new stuff.
No.
And more people that are in that industry need, yes, we want to hear your new stuff. Yeah. But go play some old stuff, because that's really why we're here.
Yeah. Oh, the other one that just came to mind, my mom and I went to, when we were at a business conference in Vegas, we went to see Celine Dion.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. Like, I just got shivers now. She is the most amazing person live. Like, her live voice is just as good, if not better, than her recorded stuff. And we were like, the front of the first balcony, and after one of her songs, we both looked at each other and we were like just bawling, just because of how, my goodness, magnetic and amazing her voice was. So that one was definitely top for sure. Backstreet Boys is pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie.
Which one of the Backstreet Boys did you have a crush on?
Oh, I was Brian for sure.
Yeah.
But this is funny. Okay, so Howie was like my least favorite. But at the concert, we were 8th row, like we had really good seats. And at one point they came in through like the middle, and he looked at me and pointed at me and winked. And then it was all Howie, right? He was like my least favorite, but now Howie is like, he saw me, he winked at me, he likes me, right?
Yeah. Writing him a letter. Where's my Teen Beat magazine so I can find the address in the back?
Oh, I did that with Boyz II Men.
Did you
really? I wrote Boyz II Men a letter, yeah. Remember? They should have been on my playlist. Boyz II Men, my goodness. Yeah.
Walk me through this letter. What did it say?
Oh, okay. I think I would have been 9 or something at the time. And the letter was all about how I was selling myself to them. I wanted to be their girlfriend. So or roadie or whatever it was, right? I sold myself. Like, I was like, I'm only 9 years old, but I'm so mature for my age. Nobody believes that I'm 9. They all think I'm 13. I'm so pretty. Like, I just went all out. I don't even know if it got into the right hands, but like, I was so proud in writing that, and who knows? Oh my God. That was the only letter I wrote.
Would have kept that. Can you imagine if you would have found that letter and kept that and laminated that thing and framed it?
Or kept a copy of it or something.
I never think of all the crazy stuff that you do when you're younger, or collect, or like, because I went to lots of concerts, all these little things that you would, oh my God, the pick, and you're just like, everything. And every year, because I'm not a junk collector, but every year I would go through this stuff, all my stuff in my room and all my clothes, and I would throw it out. And somebody asked me, Annette, if you had one wish, what would it be? And yes, I would love $100 million, don't get me wrong, but I would love to get back every single thing that I ever threw away.
Oh.
Because I think of all of the different stages, like I look at all those big belts that I had, and like I had millions of crazy clothes, and all this stuff that you just kind of, all the letter, like I kept letters from like boyfriends and
and those little things that you remember these?
Yeah, like all of that, and dried dead flowers, and like all these crazy things that I'm like, I would just like to, it would probably fill this house. There'd be so much stuff, but yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome. Here's another great song. I love Bryan Adams, right? Everything I do for you. Is there a memory or...
No.
I feel like this is like a song that you had maybe in a relationship or something.
No, it wasn't. No, God, no, because I was still too young then. But it's just one of those, I don't know, again, it was one of my childhood memory songs where when I hear it now, it just like takes me back. I had a great childhood, I'm not gonna lie. So anything that brings me back to a certain time where, you know, you get those fuzzies, I'm never gonna switch the dial on the radio when that song comes on, because again, I know all the words, and it kind of just, it zooms you back. And so there's no particular memory with that one. I think that's such a great song, like all-time song.
It is a great song. Natalie, what's something that somebody may not know about you? Maybe what what you love, or, you know, favorite food, or just really kind of who you are. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, we're seen a certain way.
Yeah. Well, so I used to be an opera singer. A lot of people don't know that. I did that ever since I was 3, I wanted to be a singer. And so that's what I pursued my entire life. And I made a career out of it. I wasn't like, you know, any big time hotshot, but I made a career out of it for close to a decade there in my 20s. And, you know, we get the stigma, I get all the time, like, you don't look like an opera singer. Everybody has this like vision of, you know, the horns and the big fat lady who sings on stage. And that's not how it is at all. There are some of them, but right, especially these days, a lot of them look like, you know, like the average person. Yeah. So that's definitely one. And then the other one is I've been a type 1 diabetic ever since I was 10. And that's a part of me too. Like that's something that I'm going to live with for the rest of my life. It doesn't define me, but it's something that I've had to live with, and it's more of an inconvenience than a disease, I would say.
Yeah.
Again, nobody can see that someone's a diabetic except for, you know, people ask me about this sometimes. In Vegas one year, this kind of, you know, obviously he was a little drunk, but he came to me in the bar and goes, "Can I ask you something? Like, what's on your arm?" And I told him, like, "Oh, okay." Because I thought, like, you know, you stole one of those security tags from the retail store and just stuck it on your arm. I was like, "Oh, you got me.
It's my badge of honor. It's my badge of honor. So going back to you being an opera singer, how did you get into that world? You wanted to be a singer when you were really young, but why and how did you choose opera of like all the different types of?
It was really just a progression. I fell into it naturally. I started taking voice lessons at the age of 9, like private voice lessons. And I had one voice teacher that I moved to another one at the age of 12. And she's really who brought my voice out. I mean, I started singing like classical, right? That's what the genre was that I was singing. And then she said, "Kate, you need to go to the Jubilee Auditorium and watch the opera that's coming. It'll be here next week." And it was The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart. And I was in the second balcony. I was like the last row, the second balcony. And I completely fell in love. I just knew in that moment, I said, that's going to be me one day. I'm going to be on that stage. That's going to be a role that I sing. And I'm getting shivers because I don't do it anymore. But the last opera that I sang was that one.
Wow.
It was like kind of my send off, like my last curtain call kind of thing. I ended up singing my dream role in The Marriage of Figaro, which was Susanna. And so anyway, I just kind of fell into it. My voice teacher said, "This is the direction your voice is going." And so I started getting into competitions, the Kiwanis Music Festival. Year after year, I would be first or second place every single time. And then just one thing led to another. I went to one of the best schools in the US for my bachelor's. Same thing for my master's. And that was, the rest is kind of history.
Did you have any weird rituals before you sang?
Yeah, I know, because singers are weird. I'll tell you that right now. Like, there's a lot of weird rituals.
Did you ever see something that you're like, what? Why are you?
I mean, you'll see a lot of singers who are super protective of their voice. Like, they'll always wear scarves. Like, even in the summer, they'll like protect their instrument. Never ice water. Always, room temperature with lemon in it. They're super particular when they go to restaurants with the drinks that they get. I think I wasn't your average, and no slight to my opera friends at all, but I wasn't your average snob opera singer. Like, I was just me. And so I didn't really get into that whole weirdness.
Yeah.
I didn't really have any rituals. No, I wouldn't.
What was something maybe you did, or one of the craziest things that you ever seen backstage before a show?
Oh, good. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to go back. Well, we had to do quick costume changes all the time. And so we would just get like buck naked. Like sometimes the costume changes were like 30 seconds long. There was this one opera that I was in where for 90% of the opera, I was on stage. Like I hardly had any breaks. So anytime I went backstage, it was for a costume change, and they would like strip me down to nothing. Like there's like 3 people on you, just like stripping you down, and there's guys everywhere, and you don't care. You don't care because you're thinking about your next line and, you know, your next move on stage, and and you're like sweating and you like have performance sweat and you're sinking and you don't care. You just become like a family. So I guess it's just a whole bunch of naked people backstage.
Speaking of being naked, right? Have you ever had an orgasm so good that you belted out a little opera?
Oh man, that one almost made me fall off my chair. Yep.
Good, I love it.
Yeah, my husband would often make me sing Ave Maria. Now I'm gonna have to make him watch this. I would sing Ave Maria while in the act, and he would love that, and it would kind of take my mind off of certain things. So we'll stop right there.
I love it. Okay, well let's throw this song on then.
Okay.
Some little bit of Journey, Don't Stop Believing. It is amazing how many people have this song on their playlist. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a classic. Journey is like just the voice. Like not many people can sing Journey, male singers especially. And this one in particular, okay, so I'll tell you about my family kind of in a nutshell. We're very, very close, my brothers and I, and we go all out when it's, someone's birthday or an event. We love not composing songs. We take songs that are already there, and then we switch the words around to make it about them. So this one was for my brother Andre, and my other 3 brothers and I got together. I'm always the one that writes the song, like writes the lyrics. So I take the real lyrics out, I put new lyrics in, and we made a video of ourselves in my old house in the jam room, and we're just like busting it out. We have the mics. And so every time this song comes on, I think about that because it was a fun time.
I love it. I love that your family does that. That's awesome.
We've done that for years. Yeah.
That's awesome. What is one of your most proudest things that, maybe not moments, but what are you most proud about yourself?
Definitely being a mom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge feat, and all moms know that it is not an easy job. But I'm proud of the humans that I'm raising, right? Like you could screw them up really easily. And I think I've got a good handle. It's not easy. Most days there are moments where you just want to run through a wall. But yeah, you can't not say that being a mom is not your proudest. I mean,
yeah. It is crazy, your comment, and I don't even think you even realized it, but we made humans. Like, do people even understand that, right? Like, you made a human. That's pretty powerful, right? What would you say the most hardest thing right now, stepping into that single mom role has been?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm everything, right? I'm the I'm the
good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah, for sure. But you're the cook, you're the playmate, you're the disciplinarian, you're the put to bedder, you're everything as a single mom, and it's not easy, but at the same time you can take pride in knowing that you're it for them, and you are their comfort, you are their world. And so it's a big role to undertake, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far, and it might not be forever that I'm in this role. But yeah, it's a role that I never thought that I'd be in. I don't think any single mom ever thinks that that's going to happen.
Not like, you know what, I'm going to have a baby and then I'm going to be a single mom.
And then I'm just going to...
That's my progression. I'm just going to progress there.
Totally.
No, and me, being when I, obviously I was a single mom as well. I just want you to know, from one single mom to another single mom, is that I want you to always know that everything will work out.
Yeah.
I don't know how, and I don't know why, but it just does. It just does. And I want more single moms to just really, truly believe that, right? Because I think, I look at some of my girlfriends right now that are in relationships and don't want to be in those relationships. And the one reason why they're staying, and it was exactly why I was staying, was financially. Financially, I was scared to take the jump. Financially, they were scared to take the jump to be out on their own.
Right.
Because they didn't think that, or they don't think that they can, and I just keep saying to them, I don't know how, I don't know why, but it always worked out. And I said this on another podcast, but it was like, all of a sudden there was a GST check that showed up, or all of a sudden, I was selling something and it, something was due and that happened, or my grandma would send me $200 in the mail, and like just crazy stuff that you're just like, and it's because you're right. You're doing a good job and you're doing what's right. So maybe the universe isn't giving you everything that you need, but it's giving you what you need to go and do the things that you need to do.
Totally. And this is like one of my mantras, but it's like, you have to go through the struggle to get to your blessing. You have to. There are no blessings that come without a price. So when I'm in any kind of struggle, and I mean, I've had struggles throughout my life, and I'm glad that I did, because I had that experience of going through them to know that the struggle that I'm going through now is another blessing. It's supposed to happen. I am supposed to be in this spot right now for an amazing thing to happen in the near future. And so I can't be sad about it. I can't.
Right. Yeah. I really like this song because I think it kind of intertwines into, right? The dance, Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
And I just think that our life is a dance. Right?
This one always gets, like you just played it and I choked up a little. So my dad passed away, it'll be 9 years ago in September. And so it always makes me think of my dad. And when I listen to the lyrics, it's my dad. And so every time that so I'm the video tribute maker of the family. So if there's like a big milestone birthday, or if there's a passing, so I've done this both for my dad and my nephew who passed away, where I create like a 20-minute video tribute montage with music and videos and pictures, and it's an extremely tough project, because you want to encompass their entire lives, right, in 20 minutes, and you want to do a good job. But anyways, this was one of the songs that I used for my dad, and so I only watch the video once in a blue moon now, because it's painful. But that song, so when Garth Brooks sang that song when we went to his concert, I was a puddle that one.
Do you find doing that, Natalie, that was somewhat of a healing for you as well, going through that process?
Yeah. So when he passed, I did not step foot out of the house for an entire week, like not even for a minute. I sat in the office, in my mom's office, and created that video every waking moment that I was up. And it took me an entire week, but I went through photo albums, like you said earlier, right? You go through photo albums, you take a picture, and so I would scan it into the computer, and it's a cut and splice and music to every picture, and but yeah, for sure it was healing, because it's going through your memory, and it's devastating, but it's like beautifully devastating. Going through it.
Who would you say you look up to the most, and what are some qualities about that person that you love?
Yeah, it's my mom. That's no question. My mom's been through some shit in her life. Some stuff that nobody would ever know. And the woman that she is today, despite it, is amazing. I think a lot of people would have buckled, and she almost did. Like, she went through depression, but she came out of it herself without any meds. And I'm not here to say anything, right? But she came out of it herself. She went into a huge personal development journey. She is the mothership of my family. And without her, like, it scares me to think where we would be without her in the past, but also in the present, because we all utilize her so much for just the woman that she is. She's extremely giving. She is, she has learned patience. She was always, but it just, right. She's continuously growing even in her senior years. She's in her late 60s now, and she's still wanting to better herself, where a lot of people have stayed stagnant. They hit maybe 50 and they go, okay, I'm done growing. This is me now. Yeah. But she has, evolved into this amazing woman and keeps evolving. So that's definitely
I love her. Her nickname's Peacock, by the way. No, I love her because she reminds me of so much of me, and I think she would probably say the same thing, right? That's why I feel like we have this kindred bond, is that she just, like, I was where you were, right? So it's really cool to have her part of my life as well. Like, I appreciate her so much. This next song, I love that you have this song on here. I'm actually very excited to kind of know the background of it. But this is the first person that had, like, kind of an oldies on there. So yeah, I love it. Right? Sherry, like, it's so crazy. Like, I played your playlist a lot, but when I put it on shuffle for the first time, I was like, no way, finally, like, somebody getting a little bit older, Yeah. And I love it.
Oh, I love oldies. So we grew up in the car listening to 66 CFR. I don't know if you remember that station at all, but it was the 60s and the 70s music. And, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, like, you gotta have them on there. And a lot of people don't, even like my age, don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But Frankie's voice, like, that falsetto, like, you gotta have one of those on there. There's so many from them. Walk like a man.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, because I think that's my favorite part of that song, right? Because like, if you can do that part, you don't even need to listen to the rest of the song. Just repeat that part over and over.
Yeah, so that's childhood for me, in the car listening to those oldies. And we didn't have say, obviously, of what music we played, but we loved it. And we'd go on road trips, all the time to the States and come back, and it was oldies on there. So that's a part of me for sure.
Yeah, I love it. Let's say, Natalie, if time and money were not an issue, what would be your ideal week? What would that look like to you?
I'd be traveling with the family somewhere. Definitely on water, a beach, with my kids, family. Yeah, no stress, just complete vacation. I mean, even Europe. I spent a lot of time in Europe in my singing days, and I just think that Europe is just such a gorgeous, location anywhere in Europe. I've been through a lot of countries there, but I want my kids to experience that.
Yeah.
I want to take them there and, have them see the culture and the heritage. And but it would definitely be, traveling and not worrying about anything happening back home.
I love it. If you could travel back in time to any decade and be reborn, what decade would you like to be?
Oh, like even before I was born?
Yeah.
Oh, the 60s. Yeah.
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 Like, be a 20-year-old in the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. Or like 18 even.
Yeah.
Being a little bit of a rebel.
Yeah.
Or early 70s for sure. I did a paper once on Woodstock, and I just, I thought to myself, like, God, how cool would it have been to be a 21-year-old at Woodstock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be super fun. So you got some MG on here, which is really, really cool. Incredible artist, right? Michael Jackson, incredible.
Yeah, I had his greatest hits. The Way You Make Me Feel is the best, I think is the best one, like his top 5. So I had to have that one on there. Anytime it came on at a dance, like at a school dance, just like total rock out to that one. Or at a, you know, at a wedding, it's, yeah. I mean, you gotta have some MJ in your playlist.
Yeah. So my parents, when I was growing up, they used to like to surprise me a lot with gifts. But they would do it like in an angry manner all the time, right? So I came home one day and they're like, I get upstairs and turn that fucking music off. And they just had like Michael Jackson like blaring. But they bought me like a wooden dresser stereo record player, right? So I walked into my room and there was this massive record player in there, and Michael Jackson, they bought me a Michael Jackson Thriller album, and they were playing Michael Jackson. But that's how I fell in love with Michael Jackson, was like that experience. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So yeah, they would do all this kind of, make it like I was in trouble, and then I would go and like experience something exciting. They could have just been like kind and gentle here.
Right. No, of course not. Probably not.
So if you were a superhero, what would be your favorite superpower?
Oh, man. Like one that doesn't.
Yeah, like would you want to be like invisible?
Yeah. Oh man, I would like instantly like solve all problems.
Yeah.
I mean, are there a few problems in the world right now? Yeah, there's just a few, right? And I think I would be, the superhero, just to come in and like gloss everything over. Not like sweep it under the rug, but there's actually a solution for it, and I can snap my fingers and everything would be fine. I think there's way too much hate in the world right now, and way too much divide, way too much of it, and I would definitely make that all disappear. Yeah,
I was literally just saying this morning how much divide it is, even with this being Canada Day.
Yeah. There's not a lot of.
Yeah, like I was trying to find something today. Like I typed in, what do I love about Canada? Like that's what I typed in the search bar. And it was all negative. It was all negative. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh, whoa. And I just like kind of shut it down and, put out, I'm proud to be Canadian. That's what you're getting today, right? I'm just like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Natalie, what would you say your 2 biggest pet peeves are?
Okay, well, the first one that comes to mind, I laugh because I think, because you're going to say, well, that I'm a pet peeve. I'm a grammar queen.
Okay.
Like written. It bugs me to no end when I see bad grammar written. And especially on like, published things like a billboard or, an apostrophe in the wrong spot or, there's a lot of them. So that's one of them is I've always been triggered by bad grammar. That's a pet peeve. The next one is definitely bad drivers. Bad drivers. Yeah, I can't stand slow drivers. Like if the speed limit is 60, you got to be at least going 65 or 70. Please don't go 60 or lower. So slow drivers and drivers who don't know how to merge.
Yeah, I'm really bad at grammar. I'm like the queen of bad grammar. I can't stop myself. And you know what? It's so crazy is I don't even care. Like Tyler literally has a book on his phone that is called Annette-isms. He will go through them and it's just like random words I've made up. And I actually just learned the other day because we have a coach and we were sitting there and I used the word boisterous. And he mimicked what I said. And Tyler's like, see, she just makes up her own words. So he goes, actually, that is a word. It's actually a word. Boisterous. He's using it in the right content. And I was like, yes. I felt like such a champion because I was actually starting to always use that word just to piss him off. Right.
But you're actually right.
Just making up words now. And I'm like, no, I don't know where I heard it. And if I made it up, I probably did. But it turns No, it's a real word. Look it up. It's a real word. That's the proudest moment right there that I was like, yeah, I feel good. And I think I still rub it in. I think I even drove home with him and said, see, some of these words are going to be put in a dictionary.
And Annette Smith is going to be beside it.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I really struggle with, you know, how, see, I'm doing it right, like call the kettle black, like that kind of stuff. When people are using stuff like that, I'm like, that doesn't even really make sense. I would never say that. Like I say something completely different and tell her, no.
Well, that's why you and my mom are like this too, because my mom says expressions backwards all the time, and that's why we call them Yvonneisms too, because it's just her thing, and she just laughs it off. We make fun of her, and that's what it is.
Yeah. I know. He's like, you always think that I'm supposed to, like, I can't read between this one I'm struggling. I love it. Oh man, here's a great song. Is this for real life? How can you not love Queen, right?
I just saw their movie a couple weeks ago.
Did you love it?
What was it called again? Anyway, the Queen movie. Queen. I think it's called Queen.
I think it's just called Queen, yeah.
It's called Queen. Yeah, every single one of their songs. But that one in particular, I mean, there's no other song out there like that.
Yeah. It was really cool for them to share, you know, when that song was coming out, and he, you know, he's very adamant that it was going to be 4 or 5 minutes. He's like, no, they're like, it's a radio, not going to happen. I love people like that, pushing the boundaries all the time, that no, it can be done. We just have to find a way, you know.
Incorporate some opera in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was dealing with that very thing this morning, just kind of wanting to trademark this name. And I was talking to a lady, and she said, you know, it's going to be really, really hard because music is so broad. And then the word junkies, right? There's already this, you know, kind of thing. And I said, so what do I got to do? And she's like, well, you'd have to put your name in there, like Annette's Music Junkies. And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that. I just want Music Junkies. She's like, I just don't think that we're going to be able to do that. And I said, so let's just say I made $1 million a month doing this podcast. Would I be able to get my name Music Junkies then? She's like, well, you would have a lot of more leeway because you would have a big following and blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, okay, so, all right. So what you're saying is it can be done. You just want me to have lots of money to do it. Right? Because like people are going to trademark their name or trademark something. It's all boils down to money. Yep. So Natalie, I want you to kind of go through all the men that you dated and met. And I want to know, have you heard your best pickup line?
Well, I don't think that would come from any guy that I dated, because but like any hit-ons.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Or do you have a pickup line that you use?
I'm just not cheesy like that, Annette.
Are you more a hunter or a gatherer?
Yeah, no, I think I'm more the gatherer. I'll maybe like put a couple like hints out there, but I'm definitely not a pursuer. I never have been. So I've had, including my marriage, 7 long-term relationships ever since I was 16. So I always went from one relationship to, like, I was a perpetual, not dater, because I didn't just date. Like I would go on one date and it would end up being a 2 to 3 year relationship. But I'm a committer, and so but I don't know. I think it was either mutual or I was pursued, or I can't think of any like genuine pickup lines that were used on me, or I'm sure there were many.
What is the worst physical pain you've ever felt?
Yeah, well, giving birth.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything more painful? For sure. Yeah, like for my first, I pushed for 3 hours straight with no breaks. And and with contractions and all that. Yeah, I wish that every single man could experience that. I wish. Like, and I know there's like these simulators, but I'm sure it's still not enough. Like, you got to actually feel that baby coming out of you. And you know, you can't tell me you felt it.
So this is our last song, if you can believe it.
Right.
And I saved this one for last because I have not heard this song forever. So I was so grateful that you had this on your playlist because now I added it. I actually have started my own little playlist from this, like all the songs that I haven't heard in a long time. So I love this song. I haven't heard Randy Travis that Forever and Ever. Amen. Forever.
Yeah. It was, so, okay, I come from a large family. I have 60 first cousins.
Wow.
And so back in the day when we were all, you know, in the age of getting married, and there was a lot of them. I was one of the younger ones in the crew on my mom's side. There's 39 grandchildren on that side. And so, but there was a big crew that were all, you know, 20 to 25 at the same time. And every single summer, there was like at least 1 or 2 weddings in St. Paul, Alberta. And this was, you know, there were like the staple songs, but this one would come on and it just like brings me back to that. Like that's summer memories in St. Paul, family weddings. And it's the greatest 2-step of all time, right? Everybody would get on the dance floor and it's like, it's just the greatest, one of the greatest country songs. Simple, but like total classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question, Natalie, if you don't mind sharing, what would you say to somebody that maybe is listening and kind of going through some of the things that you are going through right now?
Yeah.
What kind of words of wisdom would you like to share?
Yeah, you gotta be, okay, there's lots. First of all, you gotta take ownership for where you're at in life. Once you start taking full responsibility for where you are, you have a sense of freedom. That you're not putting ownership on anyone else. Like, you have the control to react of what's going on. Like, something that happened in your life might not be your fault, but as soon as you take responsibility for how you react and how you move forward, I think that gives a complete sense of freedom. Because the alternative is you're always depending on something or someone else. But when you take full responsibility for where you are and where you're going, and then, like I said before, trust that the struggle needs to happen in order for you to get your blessing on the other side, your life is going to become a lot easier.
Amazing words of wisdom. Thank you, Natalie, so much for joining us today on Music Junkies. I had like so much fun with you. I want to do this like live and in person with a ball of wine with you, 1,000%. And obviously dig deeper into other things that are going on in your life.
100%. I'd love to, Annette. I can't wait